Good evening. You're tuned in to Emo Nightly News, every moment online. Here are the headlines. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit addressed several national issues during press conference. OECS Root Crop Symposium opens in Dominica, focuses on food security and agricultural growth. Hospital welcomes new nurses as International Nurses Week begins. Republic Bank launches agribusiness loan initiative in Trinidad and Tobago. Iran releases video of what it says is recon drone shot down over Strait of Hormuz. And Dubla FC secured a convincing 4-1 victory over Point Michel FC. Details of these stories and more coming up next. Stay with us.
Tico, that's $800. Cash or card?
When cash is low, Tico is still ready.
Always card, Chalo. Would you like a copy of the receipt?
No, Chalo. NBD already sent me the alert and I'll see it on Mo Banking later. That is it. From card to farm. Power your business with the NBD Small Business Credit Card. Your partner, your bank.
Welcome back. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is the news broadcast for the 7th of May, 2026. In local news this evening, the Prime Minister addressed on Wednesday the recent string of fires in the city of Roseau, stating that vigorous investigations must be carried out into the incidents. He also assured the public that the necessary support will be provided to businesses and individuals affected by the fires.
We understand the trauma and uncertainty that come with such devastating loss. The relevant social support agencies are being mobilized to provide immediate assistance, and we will ensure that those impacted receive the support they need during this difficult time. It would be remiss of me, however, if I did not speak candidly about the deeply troubling pattern we are now witnessing. This is the second significant fire in the city within a very short span of time. That is not something any responsible government can ignore or dismiss. It is a matter that demands urgent and serious attention and investigation. So while investigations are already underway, the government of Dominica will mandate a full and comprehensive investigation into these incidents, including the causes, circumstances, and any factor that may have contributed to them. We owe that to the affected families, the business community, and every citizen who calls Roseau home.
In a significant turn of events, the Prime Minister announced that there were major missteps in the establishment of the proposed quarry at Dubois, a statement which contrasts remarks made at a previous press conference. According to Mr. Skerrit, the quarry proposal is currently under review.
The Governor of Dominica acknowledges the concerns raised by environmental activists, community members, and opposition parties regarding the proposed quarrying site at Dubois to supply material for the International Airport project. There have been a few missteps in compliance with environmental protection requirements, but government is listening and acting. The Dubois quarry proposal is currently under review by the Physical Planning Division. No final approval will be granted until all requirements of the Physical Planning Act and environmental protection and biodiversity laws are satisfied. Dominica's designation as a nature island is central to our national identity.
The Prime Minister also announced that his government will subsidize fuel prices amid ongoing developments on the global stage.
To cushion the impact of rising fuel prices, government will be in a position to provide a subsidy of $1.50 to $2 per gallon through reduced fuel taxes by the end of this month, when the next cycle will come in, price review, that is end of May 2026, should the prices keep increasing.
Dominica was represented at the King's Garden Party at Buckingham Palace, hosted by King Charles III, which honors individuals making significant contributions to their communities. Among the attendees was Rihanna Patterson, founder of the Dominica Dementia Foundation and co-owner of Dominica Youth UK, marking 10 years of the foundation. Also present was diaspora entrepreneur Deborah Williams, founder of the West Indian Diaspora Initiative and Exodus One community, focused on strengthening Caribbean and African diaspora ties. Joshua Moses also attended, known for his role in cultural and tourism initiatives and past representation at Commonwealth events. Officials say their presence highlights Dominica's growing global profile and the role of its diaspora in cultural and development work. The OECS Root Crop Symposium officially opened today, May 7th, at the Intercontinental Dominica Cabrits Resort and Spa in Portsmouth, bringing together regional officials, agricultural stakeholders, and development partners to discuss the future of the root crop industry in the Caribbean. The two-day symposium is being held under the collaboration of the OECS Commission, the Government of Dominica, the Right Program, and the European Union. The opening ceremony was chaired by Ms. Petra Grell-Schillingford and featured registration and networking among delegates from across the OECS region. The ceremony included the national anthem by Mr. Earl White, president of NAYA and NAPA, followed by an opening prayer by Father Paul Onochi Obriora, parish priest of the parish of St. John and St. Louis. Welcome remarks were delivered by Parliamentary Representative for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Fenella Wenham Shepherd.
On behalf of the people of Portsmouth and the North, I extend warm Dominican hospitality to each of you as we gather to focus on one of the most resilient and essential pillars of Caribbean food security, our root crops. Crops such as dasheen, cassava, sweet potato, yams, and tanya, one that I don't like too much, have sustained our people for generations. Through storms, droughts, economic shocks, and global uncertainty, these crops have remained dependable, adaptable, and deeply connected to our culture and survival. Their resilience mirrors the resilience of Dominica and us, the Caribbean people.
Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, Honorable Roland Roye, also addressed the symposium, highlighting the importance of strengthening food security and agricultural resilience across the region.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to Dominica for this important OECS Root Crop Symposium, which comes at a time when the issues of food security, agricultural resilience, and sustainable rural development are becoming increasingly urgent for all of us, our countries in the region. I wish at the outset to thank the OECS Commission and our regional and international partners and the many stakeholders who worked tirelessly to bring the symposium to fruition, because the conversations we are about to have over the next 2 days are discussions that speak directly to the livelihood of our farmers, the stability of our food systems, and the future resilience of our economies. For many decades, agriculture formed the foundation of economic and social life throughout the OECS, and in countries such as Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the sector once accounted for as much as 20 to 30% of national GDP during the height of the banana industry, providing employment, foreign exchange earnings, and economic security for thousands of families across the Caribbean. Over time, however, the erosion of trade preferences, the growth of the services sector, rising production costs, and increasing climate vulnerability significantly reduced the contribution of agriculture to our economies, and today, many of our countries import large quantities of food despite possessing fertile land, strong agricultural traditions, and generations of farming knowledge.
Minister Roye highlighted climate change as a major threat, noting that the April 26 trough system further reinforced the importance of hosting the root crop symposium.
Climate change has emerged as one of the greatest threats to agricultural sustainability in our region, and for us here in Dominica, that reality is no longer theoretical or distant, but something our farmers are confronting repeatedly and very painful ways. Only days ago, communities along the east coast of Dominica, including Anchizo, Atkinson, Cassibros, and communities within the Kaninaga territory experienced severe flooding and landslides following the passage of a trough system, which caused extensive damage to roads, disrupted water supply system, and severely affected agricultural production in several areas. Many farmers lost crops, livestock, small equipment, and access roads, while others watched months of hard work disappear within a matter of hours. In these communities, root crops, tree crops, and vegetable farms were buried or washed away. Once again, remind us that the agricultural sector remains on the front line of climate change and extreme weather events. These experiences reinforce why discussions such as those in place at this symposium are so important. Because if agriculture in the OCS is to survive and grow, then it must become more resilient, more sustainable, and more adaptable to the realities of a changing climate.
The opening ceremony also featured a cultural performance by the Southern Pie Primary School 4-H Club.
Our food, our future. Good morning, everyone. We are proud to share how we grow root crops with knowledge and care.
In the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, farmers work every day growing crops like kush kush and yam in a strong, healthy way. We prepare the soil first. We make it loose and deep. We move stones and weeds so roots can grow and sleep. We plant with spacing, not too close, not too tight, giving roots enough room to grow big and bright.
This is let the roots grow strong.
We choose good plantings, healthy and clean, because strong planting starts with what can be seen.
We water the crops, but not too much rain. Too much water can cause rot and pain. We moisture the root crops. We mulch the soil with leaves and earth to keep it cool and moisture to last.
Cover the soil, help life grow.
We watch for pests like insects and worms, and use safe materials, methods to protect our crops. We harvest on time, not early, not too late, because the time is next.
Harvest, handle, do it with care.
After harvest, we store in cool, dry space, keeping crops fresh for every place. We handle gently, no fighting around, because damaged roots quickly break down. Careful hands,
Careful hearts.
The symposium continues through May 8th, with technical presenters and discussions focused on regional opportunities, value chain development, and the advancement of the root and tuber subsector within OECS member states. Also in local news this evening, a group of 10 nurses is set to join the healthcare team at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital, strengthening efforts to deliver quality patient care. The nurses are currently undergoing orientation as they prepare to take up their roles. Their arrival coincides with the start of International Nurses Week, which is being observed from May 6 to 12. Hospital officials say the week will feature a range of activities, including a church service and sports day, aimed at promoting not only professional excellence, but also mental, spiritual, and physical well-being of nurses. The institution is encouraging the public to join in welcoming the new recruits and supporting ongoing efforts to recognize and appreciate the vital role nurses play in healthcare. The Dominica Electricity Services Limited, DOMLEC, is reporting that the 2 recent blackouts have been investigated and efforts are being made to improve systems based on what has been learned. General Manager Dwayne Sinak made these comments at a press conference earlier today.
Do we have a major problem? Why is Funkole not online? And that happened over a period of a few days. Now, unfortunately, while that system was in operation, operating close to the maximum load, the transmission line that I spoke about earlier, it tripped. So there was not a means to get that power, that 9+ megawatts, into the load centers and out to the communities. And we have a system that is operating at the time, in one case around 13 megawatts, another case around 16 or so megawatts. You essentially lose between 60 to 70% of what is driving the system, what is holding up the system. And as a result of that loss, the system cascaded very quickly. I mentioned that the BESS was installed to support the system. Unfortunately, the system cascaded so quickly that the BESS basically stayed off and was not able to support the system. A lot of the backup systems or protection systems that we have in place, when we lose generation, we shed load automatically. The cascade of the system just happened too rapidly for those systems to respond. So that is something we have reviewed, we're learning from it, and we're aiming to put things in place to better respond to the loss of that magnitude of power.
Mr. Sinak apologized to customers and thanked them for their understanding as DOMLEC pushes forward in making Dominica energy independent in the near future. And finally, in local news, Fine Foods Inc. has partnered with the Ministry of Health, Dominica, to support World Immunization Week, promoting the importance of vaccines and stronger public health systems. As part of the initiative, the company donated hygiene and care products through its Paddlers brand to 4 health centers in the Roseau Health District, namely Maho, Massac, Funkole, and Newtown. The donation includes children's and adult diapers, pocket wipes, and surface cleaning wipes to support patients, mothers, and sanitation efforts at the facilities. At the Funkole Health Center, the items were placed on a dedicated paddler's rack for easy access. Marketing lead Josie Polidor presented the donation. The company says the initiative reflects its commitment to supporting families, healthcare workers, and national health programs across Dominica. And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next.
Across our Caribbean, we're going digital, working smarter and living safer online.
In Dominica, we don't fall for fake prices. We check before we click.
In Grenada, we verify before we share, keeping our hard-earned money safe from hackers.
In St. Lucia, we report cyberbullying, protecting our children and each other.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we report scams fast, protecting our neighbors and our communities.
Together, we're building a cyber-smart Caribbean, keeping our people and our data safe, standing up to scams and cybercrime, we stay connected but always alert. This message is brought to you by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Stay smart, stay safe. Think Card TP. Visit cardtpconnect.org.
And now for regional news. Students from Antigua and Barbuda hoping to study in the United States may soon face stricter visa rules under a new proposal by the U.S. government. The changes will limit student visas to fixed periods of up to 4 years, instead of allowing students to stay for the duration of their studies. Students needing extra time would have to apply for extensions through U.S. immigration authorities. The proposal could affect students in long-term programs and those seeking work experience after graduation. Critics say the changes may create uncertainty and encourage students to study in other countries instead. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States Commission is advancing geothermal energy development following a technical mission to the Azores and Canary Islands. Representatives from the OECS GeoBuild program studied drilling technique, power plant operations, and renewable energy financing. At the Global Sustainable Island Summit 2026, Dr. Ernest Stapleton called for stronger financial support to reduce geothermal development costs in the Caribbean. The OECS says the mission strengthens partnerships and supports the region's transition to sustainable energy. Also in regional news, Republic Bank Limited is moving to strengthen agriculture in Trinidad and Tobago through a new agribusiness loan initiative. The bank is offering loans of up to $400,000, including unsecured financing for farmers and agricultural businesses. Under the program, farmers will not be required to provide collateral upfront, but applicants must have at least 2 years of farming experience. Republic Bank says agriculture is no longer being viewed as a side sector, but as an important part of the country's economic future.
While integrating in new technologies may seem overwhelming at first, working together to embrace innovation is essential to building a more efficient, resilient, and sustainable agricultural sector. At Republic Bank, we understand the critical role that agriculture plays in our success right here in Trinidad and Tobago and for our region's survival.
The initiative is expected to provide greater support for farmers and help boost growth within the agricultural industry. And that's all for regional news this evening. Stay tuned for international news coming up next. And now for international news. Iran has released footage of what it says is a shutdown combat reconnaissance drone over the Strait of Hormuz. A video released by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps on Wednesday, 6th of May, shows people standing next to the wrecked drone. Reports have verified the location and said that whilst the date of the footage could not be confirmed, no older version of the video was found posted online before 6 May. Aaron Dawson, a PhD candidate in war studies at the Freeman Air and Space Institute, stated that the object shown in the video appears to be the external fuel tank of a General Atomics MQ-9A Reaper, also known as Predator B, which is operated by the United States. It comes as President Donald Trump said that the war with Iran would be over quickly, following very good talks with Iran over the past 24 hours. A Buddhist temple in Seoul introduced South Korea's first humanoid robot monk ahead of celebrations of Buddha's birthday. The robot, named Gabi, bowed, prayed, and pledged to devote itself to Buddhism during an ordination ceremony at Jogai Temple.
로브 행정은 합당한 채로 예 귀하겠습니다. 라고 대답하시길 바라겠습니다. 예 귀하겠습니다.
이제 정말 인간과 함께 살아갈 수 있는 동반자의 어떤 길을 걷는 로봇 시대가 되었다는 것을 실감하게 되고
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Pope Leo XIV at the Vatican earlier today for talks on global conflicts, including the Middle East and the Western Hemisphere. The United States Department of State said discussions also covered Cuba and humanitarian cooperation with the Catholic Church in Vatican City. The meeting comes amid strained U.S.-Vatican relations, with officials describing it as an effort to restore diplomatic engagement. And finally, in international news, a German tourist has won a payout of more than 900 euros after complaining that he and his family could not get access to sun loungers during a vacation in Greece. The man said guests at the hotel regularly reserved loungers with towels early in the morning, making it difficult for others to use them. He claimed that even after waking up at 6 a.m. each day, his family was still unable to find available chairs by the pool. The tourist later sued the tour operator, arguing that the hotel failed to enforce its no reserving policy. A court in Germany ruled in his favor and awarded the family an increased refund of what it described as a poor holiday experience. The case highlights the ongoing issue of so-called sunbed wars at popular vacation resorts, where guests rush to reserve poolside loungers for hours at a time. And that's all for international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up next.
New game in town. Get ready to match 5 and you can win 10K. Let's go. Play with just $2. Match 5 numbers from 1 to 29 to win. Draws every Wednesday and Saturday at 9 p.m. It's easy, fun, and local. Match 5, your local jackpot game. Dominica National Lottery.
And now for the sports segment. In the DABA Premier Division, BAA Sharks secured an impressive 103-54 victory over Police Sports Club in the one-sided contest. The Sharks came out with intensity on both ends of the court and maintained control throughout the game, putting together a strong offensive and defensive performance. Kirby Nathan led the scoring for BAA Sharks with 26 points, while Renee Williams added 19 points. Christian Scotland finished with 16, Omarion Blah contributed 14, and Jaden Scotland chipped in with 13 points. Despite the loss, Police Sports Club saw solid efforts from Nathan Sebastian with 19 points and Shyla Farrell with 11. With the convincing win, BAA Sharks sent a strong message in the Premier Division as they continued their campaign. And now taking a look at football. In the DFA Premier League action on Wednesday night at Almond Park, Dubla FC secured a convincing 4-1 victory over Point Michel FC. Odell Laville led the charge for Dubla with a brace, scoring in the 22nd minute and again from the penalty spot in the 74th minute. McConney Roy added another goal in the 78th minute, while Marcus Breda sealed the victory with a strike in the 85th minute. Point Michel FC's lone goal came early in the match through Bert Casimir in the first minute of play. The win gives Dubla FC a strong start as action continues in the DFA Premier League 2026 season. Now let's take a look at the DFA Premier League fixtures. Tomorrow, Friday, May 8th, We United FC will come up against Middleham United FC at the DFA Technical Centre from 7 p.m. Saturday's action kicks off with Point Michel FC taking on Harlem United SC at 4 p.m. at the DFA Technical Centre. Later that evening, Mighty Avengers will face Mao Soccer Strikers FC at 6:30 p.m. also at the DFA Technical Centre. On Sunday, Portsmouth Bombers FC will battle Bath State FC at Benjamin's Park from 6:30 p.m. while Southeast FC takes on Dubla FC at the DFA Technical Centre, also at 6:30 p.m. Fans are encouraged to come out and support their teams as excitement continues in the DFA Premier League 2026 season. Finally, in sports, the Dominica Chess Federation has announced that Lucas Sorrento, Shomel Timothy, Jairus Hippolyte, and Kenji Del Sol will represent Dominica at the Pan American Under-7 to Under-17 Chess Championship in El Salvador later this month. The team departs on May 11th and will compete through May 18th in Sonsonate, El Salvador. Accompanying the delegation will be candidate master Nigel Francis, who will serve as coach and guardian. The federation says the players' participation reflects its commitment to youth development and international representation in chess. And that's all for the sports segment. Stay tuned for the weather report coming up next. And now for your weather report from the Dominica Met Service. Mostly fair and stable conditions are expected across the area during the next 24 hours, with only a few brief isolated showers possible, if any. Marine conditions remain slight to moderate, with seas reaching up to 5 feet along the east coast and up to 3 feet along the west coast. Residents and mariners are advised that northerly swells could begin affecting the west coast. Meanwhile, the second tropical wave continues to move through the central Atlantic. Forecasters say no development is expected at this time. And that's your weather update from the Dominica Met Service. And as always, stay informed and stay safe. And this brings us to the end of tonight's news broadcast for the 7th of May, 2026. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and on behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing. This is Emo Nightly News, every moment online. Have a good night.